Alright, first and foremost, let me give all praises and honor and glory to the Heavenly Father.
Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Yakakadash.
About honors to the apostles and the elders that do move on a great millstone. Peace and salutation to all the sincere Akim, pushing this gospel in sincerity and truth. Say shalom to the humble and sincere session out there as well. They just some of the brothers from the GMS Strand Camp come out to prophesy the words of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, cast down this wicked ass kingdom, and to wake up the elect, which are the 144,000, that 1/3 out of the children of Israel, which is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And to also tell our people that the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. So,
We want to touch on, today, concern, Gentiles, because, we got a lot of people running around saying, the Lord saying Gentiles, so the Gentiles could be grafted in, the Gentiles could be saved. And they know, the Gentiles who the Lord was talking about was the Israelite foreigners, that wasn't born in the homeland, that was born in strange land, and calling themselves, the name of the land, so they was calling themselves, the Greeks, as today we will call ourselves Trinidadians, Jamaican, Africans, Americans, in that Gentile state of mind, not knowing, who he is, but we are children of Israel, right? You go to some, some scriptures here, to edify the elect, to show that, Gentiles, because there were two sets of Gentiles. Gentiles, it means the heathen nation, and also the Gentile was the Israelite foreigners, who going to get grafted back into the covenant, because the covenant is for them. The Lord made a covenant with them. But when you read the scripture in Exodus 12, we say, one law shall be unto them that is homeborn, right? Let me bring out that Exodus 12, you go jump out today.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 49. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you.
Yeah, the Israelite foreigners, right? Because they, Israel was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So it doesn't matter, if they're in strange land, days of the father, days of the seed of the father. It is ruled by your bloodline, If you want to bring out, you can jump off to, Isaiah 49. 49:6.
Book of Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob, and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth.
Yes, so you see, the Biawa, I like to you, to the Gentiles, and they will, in Christianity, they will get carried away when they get the word Gentiles. They feel it, all nations, right? They feel it's these heathen nations. But no, when you go into this word Gentiles, right, in the Septuagint, right, in the blue letter, right, G1291, diaspora, they say a scattering dispersion of Israelite dispersed among foreign nations, right? When you go into the blue letter, right, they say diaspora. When you read the Gentiles here, right? So you talk about the Israelite foreigners. Go ahead.
7. Thus saith the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel, and his Holy One.
The Redeemer of who?
Israel.
Israel. You see is about Israel. Go ahead.
And his Holy One. To him whom man despiseth, to him whom the nation abhorreth, to a servant of rulers. Kings shall see and arise, princes also shall worship, because of the Lord, that is faithful, and the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose thee.
Yeah, and he shall choose thee, gonna choose Israel. But that, that was his purpose. The Lord sent him to die for Israel through the remission of sin, to bring them back, to the Heavenly Father. He came for all nations. Hey, the Lord said he pray for them, he pray not for the world. Pray for them who was given unto him, which are the elect. That is we die for the elect. Right, so we go back to this word diaspora. If you can find it in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, yeah, diaspora. And they, show this so-called white man through, he philosophy in these churches, to bring out our people,
Diaspora, that which is sown. The name applied to the Jews.
The name applied to the who?
To the Jews.
The name applied to the Jews. Right? So when we read in Isaiah 49, we go Gentile day. Right? And showing you the scattered Israelites. Diaspora. Right?
Living outside of Palestine and maintaining their religious faith among the Gentiles.
Yeah. As we do it today, coming into this truth. We're not in the homeland, but we worship, we live in power, Yahweh Hashem Yoshai. In the land of the enemy, we calling upon the name of Yahweh Hashem Yoshai. Well,
God had warned the Jews through Moses that dispersion among other nations would be their lot if they departed from the Mosaic law.
Yeah, and that's what happened to Israel when you read the book of Deuteronomy 28, from 1 to 68. Right? The Lord say we shall go into Egypt again with ships, and scatter through the four corners of the earth. They will come unto the children of Israel. Go ahead.
So these prophecies were largely fulfilled in the two captivities by Assyria and Babylonia, but there were other captivities which helped scatter the Israelites. By the time of Christ, the diaspora must have been several times the population of Palestine. Paul invariably contacted the people in every city he visited.
Yeah, in every city he visited. Right? So, the apostles, the Lord sent them out, to wake up Israel, to bring back Israel. They didn't go on to these nations. Everywhere the Jews were, they were the prophets them went told. Right? And that word we know city, invariably. When you look up that word, we say it.
Invariably say in every case or on every occasion, always.
In every case or in every occasion, always. They would have gone to the dispersed Israelites. Right? No other nation. Yeah, Ezekiel 36. 17. Right? They would have went to scattered Israelites who were calling themselves Greeks, and make, Greek the tongue, because the prophets them know who they were. Right? The prophets and them know who they were. Right? But the Lord sent them out. Yahushua, he say, go and feed my lambs, go and feed my sheep. Good.
The book of Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 17. Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman. Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries.
Alright, so we now look up that word dispersed, go back to diaspora. He scattering at the Israelites, the Jews. Right, so the Lord scatter we because we break his commandments. The Lord statutes and commandments. We had broken his covenant. Right? You know, and we were brought here in our land to be put to shame. Right? Because it is a shame to see dogs ruling over us. You know, scripture say, you know, the Lord reputed as nothing, as spit, have begun to be lords over us. That is a shame. To see these East Indians over we, to see the Chinese over we, the so-called white man over we, that is a shame. Right? That is a shame to see these nations them over we. Right? So we were brought in our enemy's land to be put to shame. And for a curse and a reproach. You know? These were these nations that look at all here, you know, as niggers. Right? Right there, Jeremiah 32. Jeremiah 32, 37.
Jeremiah chapter 32 verse 37. Behold, I will gather them out of all countries, whither I have driven them in mine anger.
Yes, so the Lord said he's going to gather them out of all countries where he had driven them in his anger. Because he scattered we amongst the nations. Right? So the Lord said he's going to gather them. Right? So the them we talk about is the people we had cast away. Right? For being disobedient. These people, right, them who we gonna bring back. Right, them who we gonna gather. Go ahead.
Behold, I will gather them out of all countries whither I have driven them in mine anger, and in my fury, and in great wrath, and I will bring them again unto this place, and I will cause them to dwell safely, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power.
Yeah, you're gonna be their people, and you're gonna be their power. Just saying in Joel 2:27, he's in the midst of Israel and he's there for one none else. Continue.
And I will give them one heart and one way, that they may fear me forever, for the good of them and of their children after them. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them to do them good, but I will put my fear in their hearts, that they shall not depart from me. Yea, I will rejoice over them to do good, and I will plant them in this land assuredly, with my whole heart, and with my whole soul. For thus saith the Lord, like as I have brought all this great evil upon this people, so will I bring upon them all the good that I have promised them.
Yeah. So the Lord gonna they salvation. The Lord gonna come to the Israelites, the Lord gonna pull we back into that land. You know, and he's going to put his laws, statutes, and commandments in our mind. Right? Because the scripture saying we're going to sprinkle clean water and he's going to cause me to keep the commandments. Because we ain't going to be in this flesh. We ain't going to be in this flesh. We're going to be in our glorious body. Right? In a moment, in a twinkling of our eyes, we shall be changed. Right? Yeah. So you see, we're going to plant you again. Right, there's second Maccabees 1 verse 29, say plant thy people again in the holy place as Moses has spoke. Right? So we was there before and we going back there again. Plant thy people again. So who was there in the land? Israel. That land was given, right? From the Heavenly Father, land was given unto Abraham and his seed. Right? Are we going to inherit back the land? Right? So you see who salvation for. So these scattered Israelites, right? Who in that Gentile state of mind, you know, calling themselves, you know, all these name of the land, as we did, you know, as we doing today, you know, we call it ourselves, you know, we Jamaican, Haitians, Trinidadians. We are the children of Israel. Right? We are the Israelite foreigners. Right? Right.
Right, they just about the point with the brother was saying, you know, about Israel being scattered. Because the same way, the same definition you read, it said the Israelite foreigners was several times the amount that was in the land. And that basically the same thing today. And it is on a greater scale today because the majority are we not the majority not in the land. You understand? We on the western side, we in America, South America, Central, we in the Caribbean, we in all these other countries, but we not in the land. So we come like Israelite foreigners. You understand? But that don't mean
we are not Israel.
yeah. But it's not about the land itself, it's about the people.
Yeah.
You understand? So because and they go see Ephesians and they go see all these things and say, well, see, look, he's talking to the Ephesians. He is talking to Israelites in that land that calling themselves Ephesians. You understand? In the book of Ezekiel, chapter 11, verse 16, it says, therefore say, thus saith the Lord power, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. Therefore say, thus saith the Lord power, I will even gather you from the people, and assemble you out of the countries where ye have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel.
You're going to give me the land, you're going to give me the land of Israel, so you're going to gather we from all countries where we have been scattered. Right? If you can hear Isaiah 11 verse 11. Right? Let's go back up.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. And in that day shall come to and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Patros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea.
Yes, we're going to gather we, right? From all countries. You know, you're going to gather just a little sanctuary. You know, from all countries where Israel is, Lord, you know, you're going to take a portion, the elect from all countries, you're going to gather them. Because he ain't come for the great multitude. Right? Just a portion. Right? Keep the faith of Yahweh Shem Yoshai and exalt the name of Yahweh Shem Yoshai. Right? Because when you read 1 Peter 1:1 and James 1:1, right? Right, go ahead.
In the book of James chapter 1 verse 1 it says, James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting.
Yeah, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. Right? Go in every, even in 1 Peter, you know, all the land where they went through to Pontus, Galatia, all these places where Israel was, where the Israelites them was, they were scattered among the heathen nation. You know? Just as the day where we is. You know, we scattered among the heathens. We speak in English. You know? But we are Israelites. Right?
In the book of Acts chapter 2, outside at 4, it says, and they were all filled with the Holy Spirit, and began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them utterance. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men, out of every nation under heaven. You understand? Jews out of every nation. And that's the same thing today. We are not these strange nations, as the brother said, we call themselves Trinidadian and Jamaican and Haitian and American. But that don't mean that we're not Israelites. You understand?
Yeah, the prophets, the Lord sent out the prophets. You know? Because the prophets know, that Israel scattered. You know, and to go on to bring them back. You know, Israel, if you give me a second. Yeah. Second Exodus 2:33.
2 Ezra chapter 2 verse 33. I, Ezra, received the charge of the Lord upon the Mount Horeb, that I should go unto Israel. But when I came unto them, they set me at naught, and despised the commandment of the Lord.
Yeah, they set them at naught. They may want to hear. Just like we people today. They may want to hear you talking about this. They believe there's Christians, they believe the Lord is Jesus Christ. They even believe in. So when you come in to tell them something, them thinking, boy, what kind of new doctrine is this, boy? And this is not a new doctrine. This is a doctrine we had from the beginning. This is the word of the living power. You know? So it might sound new to you. You know, because all the enemy, you know, beat the truth out of all you and feed all their lies. You know, and throughout all their generation, they all teach all their children. And their children teach their children. And that's why this place is corrupt how it is today. Right? What do you do, Ezra? Yeah.
Second Ezra chapter 2 verse 33. I, Ezra, received the charge of the Lord upon the Mount Horeb, that I should go unto Israel. But when I came unto them, they set me at naught, and despised the commandment of the Lord. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen.
Yes, so I just call them heathen. You know? So come like, you know, just like, you know, the word Gentile meaning heathen, non-Jews. Right? I just call them heathen. Right? Because, you know, those living, you know, and following the custom of these devils, these heathen nations, being a part of, you know, being a part of them, you know, and following after their customs, you know, worshiping idols. So I just call them what? Heathens. Right? But you say, continuing, you say, therefore I say unto you, O ye heathens, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd, he shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand, that shall come in the end of the world. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shine upon you forevermore. Right? So Ezra know and he understand, you know, they were Israelite foreigners. You know, that took these custom and these tongues. You know, and worshiping idol, but you know that they are Israel. You know, it's for them to turn, look for their shepherd, turn back from wickedness, turn back to Yahweh Shem Yoshai. Right? Ezekiel 37:15. But God's going to bring them back.
Okay, Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 15. Said, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it, for Judah and for the children of Israel his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it, for Joseph the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel his companions.
And for all the house of Israel his companions.
And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand.
Yeah, they shall be one in the Lord's hand. Right? The Lord not going to be two kingdoms no more. Not going to be the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. Right? The Lord going to rule over and make them one tribe 12 tribes of Israel. Right? Continue to tell me.
And the precept they bring up before we start, there's not a Jew nor Greek, there's not a bond nor free. They're not talking about Israelites and Gentiles, they're just talking about the whole nation being made one in Yahushua. We never split between it, we don't know northern kingdom and southern kingdom anymore. It will just be Israel as it was intended to be. It was Ezekiel 37. Say the sixth wherein thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen.
So you're going to take the children of Israel among the heathen, but we scattered, amongst the heathen, we living amongst them. We living amongst these nations. Right? Go ahead.
Whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side.
You're going to gather them on every side where we now reading Isaiah 11. Right? Go ahead.
And bring them into their own land.
And bring them into their own land where we now reading 2nd Maccabees. Plant thy people again in thy land. Right? So we see that Gentiles are the Israelite foreigners. There is Columbus and the participation of the Jews and Spanish Portuguese discovery. What I'm going to read from these records, right? On page 95, right? Because the native, they are the children of Israel also. Say in Cuba, Hispaniola, and Adjun and the other islands, which he discovered, with Columbus, where he discovered, he said he found natives who had their Caquis on it, and their own language and tradition. To what race did these Aborigines of America belong? He says several writers have asserted and have displayed much learning in attempting to prove that these Aborigines were descendants of the Jews. Because they were descendants of the Jews, right? They are part of the children of Israel, right? Page 96, he said that Aborigines of America were descendants of Jews, right? They were descendants of Jews, right? He said in the support of his views is the language of the Indians. In support of his views is the language of the Indians in Hispaniola, Cuba, Jamaica, and the Adjacent islands. He contends that it has many resemblance to Hebrew. In fact, he even called it corrupt Hebrew. He asserts that such names as Cuba and Haiti are Hebrew. And jumping down, he said the Indians often bathe in rivers and streams. They refrain from touching the dead and from tasting blood. They had defined fast days. Marriage with sister-in-law was permitted if they were childless widows, according to the law. Say wives were discarded for new helpers. They also sacrificed first fruits on the high mountains under shady trees. They had temples and carried an holy ark. Before them, in the time of war, they were also like the 10 tribes. And they were also like the 10 tribes they are. Esau having records, he knows, but the so-called white man won't be here. We are the children of Israel.
He didn't. Instead of that not push mainstream, that the Native Americans used to keep those laws, statutes, and commandments. Instead, they used to push that there was cannibals, that they used to eat each other, and they was war. So what we learn in school is that the Tainos and the Kalinagos, they used to be at war with one another, and they used to eat each other. You understand? They used to perform cannibalism and human sacrifice and sacrifice the children and all them things. That what we learn. That the thing that they push to make it feel as if they needed to be colonized. Because there was beasts, there was living like beasts, so the so-called white man had to come and teach them the correct way to live.
That is lies. Because scripture say, so-called white man, he had gone against a nation who was at peace with him, who was civilized, who trade with him, who deal, justly with him. But what do? Rape, rob, murder, take the land. He set up, he churches, Christianize them, turn them from the power, enslave them. They what the so-called white man did. Right? But he said that, we are beasts. The so-called white man is a beast. Watch out, what do you think that is eat? He having sex with animals, he legalized bestiality, homosexual, but they call we uncivilized. We have something they didn't have. The love of Yahweh Hashem Shai, the laws, statutes, and commandments. And David the scripture say this is going to be our wisdom in the sight of the nations. Right? Because we don't live like them. China, Israel, we had that. The scripture say what nation is so great that had these laws, statutes, and commandments as Israel? But the call we uncivilized, the call we monkeys.
If sometimes you go on and have this show, you just show people like eating addictions and things. I don't know if you ever see this, like people who are addicted to eating sponge. You understand that is this either mighty. He taking all the sponge from his bed and from pillow and thing and eating it. Then the next one she was addicted to smelling Pampers. After she tried pee or shit or whatever in Pampers, she was addicted to smelling it and putting it in she mouth and thing. You understand? That does sound like civilized to me. And then you could go with a piece of stick and tell them you want to marry this stick. And you will be able to marry this stick. You understand? And I see that people who marry the dog. You understand? Marry the phone and them kind of stupidness. That is what be going on in the Esau kingdom. That is be going on in the border of wickedness.
Corruption, abomination.
Scripture said everything be done in decency and in order. The Lord is not out of confusion. Right? So everything was made after its kind, it's real order with the Lord, and the order was so keen. It takes 6,000 years to create everything because its real order was set down. But in Esau kingdom, it don't have order. You understand? Anything goes. And that's how the Lord set up. You could say whatever you want to say, you could do whatever you want to do. We're free. So you could just do as you please in Esau kingdom. It don't matter about it. It has nothing to govern it. The thing that has governed it